Welcome to Diplomacy is Not an Option, this is going to be a beginner's guide for absolute beginners. This is a modern RTS, and it's one of my favorite new RTS games in the last few years. Tremendous game. I've spent many hours playing this and enjoy it thoroughly. Has a lot of replayability, which is always a big thing for any game that I buy. Are you going to get your value out of it? And this one I certainly have. Um, there are four main modes. There's a campaign mode. I don't actually play a lot of that. There's a challenge mode, not a lot of that. Sandbox mode, this is where I'm always at. And then endless mode, which is sort of a version, these versions here are in sandbox mode a little bit. What I'm saying is there is an endless mode within sandbox mode, and that's the primary mode that I play. Now, if you come to endless mode, and you're just starting out, I highly recommend you pick this City of Joy here. And what you'll notice here is it says this version of the endless mode with no attacking waves at all. This will give you a chance to sort of build your bases, learn the game. There are enemies, they're just not attacking. And you go around and attack them as you want. So you can see here, it's not a skilled survivor. Now, if I flip to this next one, suddenly you got the skilled survivor, you've got waves. You may say, oh, this isn't so hard. But even these sort of early down here, they're much harder. But even these ones up here, even this basic one, get really hard really quickly. So like I said, if you're intent on using this mode, I would start out with the City of Joy if it's your very first time and learn the mechanics, and then you can sort of move on to these. But the mode that I play the most in is sandbox mode, and they have an endless mode, which is a lot of fun. I use this feat of resistance, and what's different about this is you can pick when the waves come. You can make them as difficult as you want, as easy as you want, or you don't ever have to make a wave. You could simply build for all eternity if you wanted to. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you certainly could. Enemy camps, I would say yes. The size of the map, 200 by 200, it's pretty good. There's the enemy density, that's pretty good too. Don't need to change that. I like this. Actually, this is one of my favorite maps, but you can also pick different maps. Ones that have more shores, ones that have more islands, one that has like a fall look, whatever you want. They've got a lot of them. I actually just usually pick this very first one, but you can play around with that too. So that's what you do now. Here's the big part though. Forget about all this. The big one is the game conditions. Here's where it gets fun. And you can sort of pick at what you want to be able to do on your map. You can pick the resources. I would recommend when you're first beginning, start out with many stone deposits and many iron veins. I would certainly do that if you can. Also, have these selected to yes. I think by default these are already selected. I'm also going to turn off Fog of War because I want to show you some things. And so, in fact, I usually do that anyways, but you can certainly, you don't have to put that on. But that's one of the few ones. Now, I don't do any of these other ones. It makes it way too easy. But I do sometimes turn off the no fog of war. And I'm going to because I want to show you some things in this tutorial. I usually start out with 2 citizens and then max out on the food, 100 food. I give myself 200 wood, 150 stone. These are, I think these are actually, I don't even know what the defaults are for the normal mode, but I think these are pretty close. 25 gold and 50 soul crystals. You could give yourself 5,000 soul crystals. You probably wouldn't die for a long time. But where's the fun in that, right? Also, you can add your starting army. I gave myself some pretty good units here. The mighty one, that's a great unit to start out with. And I actually like to create these, add on. I usually get about 50 of these guys if I can. They're I think one of the best infantry units in the game. These are kind of like catapults. They call them Scorpios. Give yourself that, but you can give yourself whatever you want. You can pick through the rebels, who are the ones actually attacking you. You can select an army of that sort. You can have like a royal army, or the Saranga, who, like I said, I really like. So that's kind of this is what I use almost always to start my game. I play this all the time, and then you can make it as difficult as you want because you determine when the waves are started, when they come at you, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's go ahead and start the game, and it'll start up here in a minute. Okay, so here we go. So you're going to come in here and it's going to tell you this is kind of your playground. And basically what they're saying is what I just told you. You can make it as difficult as you want or as easy as you want. Now, since I have the fog of war, there was actually a reason I did this, is because I wanted to show you, we've already got some units attacking you. And this is not uncommon. They're coming at us because they were within range. We've got an army to sort of deal with them. And with our, sort of zooming in here, with our Serenga units, they should easily defeat them. That's good. All right, good. Let's get those guys back. Okay, so when you first come in, you're going to sort of look, kind of scan the map out, kind of see what's going on. You notice that you are surrounded by a lot of enemy camps here, all over the place, but they are not attacking. But there's a lot of them. So they will not respawn. You can actually respawn them right here. I have never used the spawning tool. If you've used it, let me know if you like it. I don't usually do that because I have enough to deal with, in terms of the waves that you're sending at. Now, usually what I do is I start the wave out. Here's where you add the wave. I wanted to show you this. Usually you add the wave and you hit this plus sign and you determine the round. Now, I want to point out something very quickly here. It is really easy to go ahead and add some enemies. You just click over here. Usually what I do is I start out with 1,000. So we got 1,000 enemies coming. And I usually leave it at the 50% difficulty. And I don't start bumping up the wave directions until later on. And I usually have, so here's how I do it. And you can do this whatever way you want. You can develop what any process you want. I would actually like an option to say here, this is the only thing I wish they would make an enhancement. I would like the ability to say, hey, send a new wave every 15 days and increase it by 500. And that's kind of what I do. And you might say, well, only 1,500 and at round 30 and only, but they start getting more difficult. Trust me, they start getting, they get bigger and you got more things. Here you can see we've got some siege stuff we're going to have to deal with. You can see what's going to potentially be coming at you. So once you're done with that, you apply and continue. And I want to hit the pause button. And actually, I'm glad I talked about that. Very important to hit the pause button. It's something that you can forget pretty quickly. It's something you don't want to forget. It allows you, first of all, I like it just to sort of, from a planning perspective, it's pretty darn good because you can plan what you want. Now, when you first come in here, what I want you to do is click on your keep, your main stronghold, the town hall. And what you can see here, I want you to notice this. It gives you this sort of big green, the green area, this highlighted area. This is your entire domain that you can build in. Keep that in mind. You cannot build outside of this. So that's it. You can only build within this particular domain. Very important to sort of understand that. Now, you can actually increase that. You can say, increase the worker radius. And what does that mean? That means your workers, so if you can try to build something out here, but they're not going to come out and do it. So that's what this literally means. These you can decrease it, you can increase it. I'm not sure why you would decrease it. I'm not sure why they even have these. My thinking is that you may want to say you don't want to build way out here and you want to sort of not have to remember that. So that's what I'm thinking this is. But if you hit plus, watch what's going to happen here. Starts going out more. I usually just max it all the way. And that's as far as it can go. So now you've got a little bit more range. That's kind of nice. You can build a little bit farther out. So that's the first thing I do. I come here and I sort of increase the range. Everything's paused, so we're not rolling time. That's good. We do have a wave coming in 15 rounds, which we have to defeat. And it might actually be a little bit difficult. In fact, I'm probably going to use these guys initially to clear out a few of these forces that are real, especially here. These guys got to go. And that's the other thing. You want to kind of look around and see, what do I got to get rid of? Because I don't want these guys coming in and harassing my workers and things like that. So that's the first thing you do. Now, the other thing is kind of take a mental note of some of the, this is kind of an interesting formation here. Wow. Nice solid defenses. The other thing is you want to kind of make you're not going to do it for a while, but you kind of want to make a mental note of where you might eventually build your walls. And usually what you want to use is your natural resources. These are already kind of walls, so maybe I'd put a wall from here to here. That looks pretty good. Probably going to build maybe a wall that comes around here to here, and then maybe connect these guys up. Or maybe even do a bigger one, like come over here, here, and it probably will, because one thing you do need is space for farms, and spacing is so important in this game. So that's just something to look at. You can see this is extending way out here. This is kind of an interesting, that's a nice barrier right there. I like that. So maybe set up a wall here. So you just want to get an idea of where you're going to put your wall. So that's the first thing to talk about. Very important thing that you understand early is the radius of your entire domain. Okay. So there are, this is your most important bar up here. The first thing it tells you is your population. This tells you how many workers we have, which in this case is 0. Not a good thing. That means we can't really build any mines or anything. This will tell you your food. This will tell you your wood, stone, iron, and soul crystals. We'll talk more about that. And gold. Gold, by the way, cannot be mined. You have to trade for that or find it out here. They have carts. You'll see them. This is why I wanted to do fog mode. Let's see if we can find a cart here. And this is kind of useful. You can get some of these enemy. Here we go. So here's a cart. And if you raid that, you'll get whatever this is. This looks like food or iron or something. I'm not sure what that is. And then you also have these tents. If you destroy these, you pick up a soul crystal. We'll talk a lot about soul crystals. Very, very important early on. Okay, so, and we get 50 of them. All right, so let's go ahead. And so the very first thing, well, let's talk about some other buttons too. One thing you want to do is auto repair on. Always have that on. If your base gets damaged, you don't want to have to figure out what's hurt and what's not. You want to always have this on so that your workers are automatically replacing whatever has been broken by the horde coming in. Very important. Also, you can close the gates when you start making gates. Right here, you can close them all, especially if you're about to go into a major battle. Close all the gates. This has actually cost me a game before. I forgot to do that. They came right through my gate, and they got to my town hall. Once they get to the town hall, it's over. That's it. Your town hall cannot be destroyed. Everything else can be destroyed except the town hall. This is to upgrade things. We'll talk a lot more about that. Statistics, don't really use that. Here is the research thing, which is very important, these research trees. We'll talk a lot more about that as well. We'll get to all these subjects very quickly. And here's where you can cast some of your spells. Astral Ray, very big. Meteor. Don't really use healing as much, but Astral Ray and Meteor, those are huge. And they can be the absolute difference maker in terms of whether you survive or not. Okay, so if you hit the escape button, it will unpause it. So let's pause it one more time. Now, one thing I want to do is we've got to worry about food right away. And so we cannot, but we have no workers. How do you get workers? You get workers through making houses. This very first icon right here will allow you to make your very first house. You have the resources to do it. It's probably the first thing you want to at least get going. I would recommend you build a couple of them to get some workers. All right, so let's unpause this. So never just don't sit around and do nothing. You can see we're getting some they're auto attacking, but let's go destroy. Let's go ahead and start our first attack, and we're going to destroy some of these nearby villages. We don't want these guys lingering around because we want to expand in there, so we got to get rid of them anyways. You can see here when I destroyed that tent right there, we picked up a soul crystal, and you'll see this soul crystal count now go up. And make sure you grab them, by the way. It's easy to forget to do that. Now we've got 51 of these. These are used to cast your spells later on. They will be the most important thing. You can see there we picked up some wood. That's awesome. Picked up some extra resources. And let's make sure our base is safe. We go back here, picked up some more. Let's now one thing you can do is kind of hit patrol. And well, no, I'm not going to do that now. But sometimes you can hit patrol too. But we're just going to clear these guys out of here. They will not respawn. That's the good news. But we're just going to get a little bit of clearance here so we can start to do some other things once we get some workers going. We don't have any yet, but we should once those houses are built, and then we're in business. Let's make sure we get that crystal. All right. Now, one of the things I want to point out early on, let's get these guys aligned. If you highlight them all, you can group an army right here. I actually missed this, by the way, for the longest time. Let's actually hit the pause button. I actually missed this for the longest time. I didn't realize this. I was wondering, how do you group? Well, you hit this plus, and boom. Now, you don't ever have to highlight it again. You've just got them selected. Deselect them, and you can highlight them. And this is very useful. It's going to be fundamental when you start to have multiple armies and multiple types of units. That's a very good way to keep everything organized because you're gonna need to do that. All right. So we're clearing some of these bases. We've got our workers. See, our first worker showed up. Look at that. Our houses generated some, made some good progress there. We've got some workers. Now, the first thing we want to do is we still got to clear out some of these guys. Let's go over here. Let's take the army over here and get rid of this. I want to make sure I can start mining some stuff here, but I don't want my mine to get destroyed. So it's a good thing to get the army going, but I think we can do that now. So that's good. They're doing that. Now, let's hit the pause button. Now, let's talk about this. Next thing you want to focus on are the two most important resources, wood and stone. First, you want to get those going and incoming. Now, we've got a nice forest over here. And that's kind of what I was looking at. So keep an eye on the big forest, the big areas where you can start to do some good wood cutting. And you want to clear these anyways because you need the space. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to do. We are going to focus on creating our very first mine. And what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to hit a lumber mill. So lumber mills, anything you place down has a radius. You see that? Again, so keep this in mind. When you put this woodcutter down, he's going to cut all the trees down in that darker green area that you see. So placing these strategically is important too. Well, of course, we want to get most of this forest here. So we'll put it right there. That's a good opening spot. Doesn't mean we'll always keep them here. And eventually, when he runs out of trees to cut down, he'll give you a signal that there's no more trees to cut down. We'll talk about that too. So you've got that's good news. We've got the woodcutter, but we're not done yet. You also need to have this icon right here. We need to place down a storage unit where you can store that. So we're going to build two things. So let's get the game going again. So that's the first thing. We're about to get our very first mine. And then we also have to think about that dreaded thing called food. Yes. Meanwhile, these guys are doing a good job clearing all this out. Let's move these guys up here a little bit. And we're we got some more crystals. That's good. Notice our workers came out here and they're going to start building this for us. That's good. Then we got to start worrying about food. Yes. Because that food's going down. So we got to keep an eye on that food. Very important. But we're certainly sort of clearing some of these nearby villages so that they won't harass or kill our troops. That's kind of the thing you're most worried about, is you just want to make sure that you've got this entire area cleared. Eventually you want to clear the whole board, but in the beginning it's good to sort of just get rid of. Mainly it's also good because you're picking up crystals, as you can see. And crystals are going to help us early on. Definitely survive the very first couple waves. They're fundamental. Okay, good. So let's go there. Let's go here. All right, good. And then let's sort of put our army right there for now. Actually, we're going to kill that lone guy. And then we're going to and because we got those catapults, we can kind of just set them up right here. I think that's a good spot. And we're just going to keep our army right here. That's good. All right. So now what we need to talk about is food. Food's very, very important. Obviously, this will go down if we don't continue to do that. Now, the earliest type of food that you can get The very earliest one that you can get are these berries, these little bushes right here. Very simple to build these. How you do it is you come to the food icon, click on food, and you'll click on the berry picker. Now the good thing about the berry picker is this also has a radius too, but if you just, they're very small. Usually what I like to do is put these on the side, because remember, space is going to be important. So you kind of want to keep these guys, you wouldn't want to put one out here in the middle unless you absolutely had to. And you can also see there is a radius here. Look at the radius he's got. So he's going to be able to pluck from all these bushes. Usually, like I said, I like to put those on the side, so we'll build somebody to start collecting berries. And you can see here our guys are doing a really good job of clearing all of these forces out slowly but surely, so we won't have to have them harass our troops. But keep an eye on them. Don't let them don't forget about them totally. But yeah, we're just sort of clearing all these troops out. There's a cart there that we can pick up. Let's actually send one guy to go get that. And we did. Okay, we got some food. Good. All right, so let's get our army back. We'll just keep them there. And they'll start, they should overpower these guys pretty easily. So you can see here, we're stacking up some wood. Our wood's going strong. We're collecting some berries. He's around here somewhere. What we want to do is also, they go hand in hand, also want to get a granary. So you just saw where I went right here. This is sort of the storage area. So let's get a granary going. We're going to put the granary on the side too if you can. Let's put the granary right there. I like to put the granaries on the side. So we'll build that. We still got 12 workers. It's all good. And we just cleared that village. You can fight for hours. You can see what we've got through. So let's at least get rid of this village. This one I might keep an eye on. I'm going to pick up several crystals here. Okay. And we've got some people, some stragglers here. Let's go get them, because they're in our vicinity. We'll just use these guys to take out the rest of this village. You can see we'll have this thing cleared very soon. And then look at this. We've got quite a bit of space now to operate, which is good. And we just, like I said, you just kind of want to get the initial guys done. All right. That's good enough. Let's just take out these guys. They've already found us. And there you go. Okay, good. All right, so we've gone past another day here. Let's now send these guys down here. I think that's pretty good. Let's send them right here. I want to clear out this area too. This is pretty safe now, as you can see, and we're collecting all this wood. That's good. Now, one of the things you want to think about doing early on is upgrading the town hall to 2. So we're going to do that. We need, and it'll tell you, we need 100 wood and 100 stone. And this unlocks a bunch of different stuff you can get in terms of buildings and in terms of the research. And let's actually talk about research while we're talking about it. So research is obviously very important. There's things that you're going to find that you like early on. There's things that you don't necessarily need. One of the big ones I like is when you build a barracks is to get sharpshooter. Take a look at that. 20% chance to deal double damage. That's a pretty big one. So that's a really good one. Some of these advanced toolkits early on are good too. In fact, we can only get that with the town hall. You can also see here, we can start to do some research, and we're going to do that. And the first thing I like to get, again, are these advanced toolkits, which increases the efficiency. So let's go ahead and do that. So you select it. It's going to give you a timer. And then now you're in pause. By the way, when you go in there, the game pauses. So that's the good news. There's nothing going on in the background, and it actually returns the pause, which I also like. I will tell you that some other ones that I like, maybe the most important, is the university. You can improve the astral channels and some of the healing nature, some of that. So now you'll see the countdown right here. It's counting down. That's how long it takes to do the research. Okay. So things are going pretty good. Like I said, let's form up over here and kind of get rid of this whole area here. These guys are way too close. So we'll start to attack them. Let's actually form up here. What happened to our catapults? Oh no, they're coming along. All right, so we've got a little buffer going. Now, what do we want to do next? Well, like I said, we're working on the upgrade. Let's let that complete. Let's not distract our builders right now. We should be collecting berries somewhere. There should be a berry collector here. Somebody's doing it, I'm assuming. Hopefully. Yes, I think somebody's collecting berries. I don't know where she's at. But you'll see them, they'll pluck them off this bush right here. And somebody's collecting berries somewhere. I'm not sure where she's at. But oh, there you can see, right there. Okay. So there's the berry. And they can actually, this has storage too. So if you click on the town hall, there's things can be stored too. But obviously you want to add storage bins too. You're going to need them. You can't just, oh gosh, I wasn't paying attention here in oh no, let's get these guys back. I don't know what happened. Did I bring them back? I must have. Always got to pay attention. That could have been a disaster. We could have lost our catapults, which wouldn't have been good. All right, let's pick up all these gems. We're going to need them.
Research complete.
And we're just trying to get rid of some of these areas that are very close to our base. That's good enough for me for now. Okay, good. So we've got a little bit of space now. Good. I think we're going to set up over here too. So let's select our army and let's just set them up right there. That's good. Our catapults will start to hit them. And here's our upgrade on our town hall. Very good. That's going good. Things are going good. I think we're actually going to survive this first wave. So that's good. We've got some food. We want to actually add a few more of these, get a few more berry collectors in the beginning. At least 3 or 4 of them. You can see here we've got a lot of berries. So we might set up a berry stand over here too. After, in fact, let's do that. Let's go get some more. Berries are good early on. Really easy for them to sort of collect those. And where do we want to put it? Let's just, you know what? Let's stick it right here. Because I don't usually fish. Because fish, they do not return. So once you fish them, you're sort of done. So it's sort of a waste. These, by the way, these soul crystals will not disappear. So you can come back and get them later on. It's always good. All right, so we're still... This is good. We're clearing a lot of these guys out that are in our way, kind of like in our territory. Definitely the ones nearest, like I said, you want to get rid of those. Let's go get these free resources over here. Then I think we're going to come back here. There was a tent. I don't like that this tent's so close. We're going to get rid of that one. All right, so we picked up those resources and picked up the free stone. Good. All right, let's get back here. That's good. I think the army can stay there for now. All right. So the town hall has been just upgraded. That's fantastic. Now take a look at this. Now I can go ahead and upgrade our house. I can also upgrade our storage. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and upgrade the storage. You'll get more storage, and let's upgrade the house. We'll get, and when you upgrade the house, you get more workers. That's the nice thing about that. So now that we've got sort of an economy going, we've got another berry picker, so we're bringing in more food. It's time to focus on the next step, which is to try and get, we don't need to worry about first aid kits at this point. We'll talk about that later on. You want to focus on the military, which is down here, this icon, and a barracks. So we're going to start our very first barracks. Where do we put it? Well, let's just put it right here. You may want to think about this more logically. Always think about like where you might put a farm. Farms take up quite a bit later on, open areas. But I think right here is good for now. I'm just going to put the real close to the... nice thing about having the barracks close to the town hall is in case your army is wiped out and there's units starting to come in here, you can create... The units will be right next to defend your town hall, which you, of course, cannot lose. So you can see here the workers are coming out to create our first barracks. That's good. And they're going to start doing that. And we're just going to try to survive this first wave. Try to survive this very first wave. So they're going to start working. That's good. We've got... They should come here and start building this. Oh, they have to complete... Now, this is good to show you. One thing, you can prioritize what order things are done, especially if you've got multiple projects going on. You can actually click on this and you can see this number here. You can change this. Now, I don't have 5 or 6 things I'm building, but later on in the game, this gets important if you need to prioritize. And if you just click it, you can make it the top priority and they'll put over here. So that's kind of how you control what your workers are doing. You can't actually highlight them, but you can actually prioritize what goes first and what doesn't. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of an important thing to know, especially as you get later in the game and you want to start, you have a wave coming, you're trying to prepare for it. You might need to prioritize defenses or something before that. So if we click on the barracks, you can come here and we can see we've got swordsmen, archers, which we can do right away. We can also got crossbowmen, but you can see here we need to. I thought we did the town hall too. Not sure why we can't upgrade that. Oh, we don't have the resources. Okay, so now what we need to do is go ahead and get a stone mine going. So let's do that. We've got the workers. That's the next thing you want to do. You come here to this icon, of course, and we can do a level 2 stone mine now that we've got the town hall upgraded. If we went to town hall level 3, we would get that. We would get the 3rd level mine. So that's always a nice thing about. That's why it's so important to get these upgraded. I like to get to town hall 2 really quick. It might take a little bit more time to get to the town hall 3, but definitely try to get to the town hall 2 as early as you can. So you can see we're going to have some stone coming in. Now, one thing while we're talking about stone, while we got a little break here in the action, one thing I wanted to mention, and this is really important. And you know what? We're getting a little low on our food. Keep an eye on food. Keep an eye on it. We've got a little food issue going. So let's get, in order to solve that early, I probably should get a farm going. In fact, let's do a farm. Let's just do one so I can show you how they're done. So, and this is a good, you know what? A nice place to start a farm is where you got a lot of room. And we got a lot of room. So you come here to the food, and we can do our very first farm. Farms give a lot of output. So let's do that. So you put it here, and then what you need some space to create some fields. And I think you need 4 or 5 fields. There you go. So they're going to build the farm next. That's good. There's nobody here really to cause problems. That's a good thing, by the way, to get going early is the farm. It's really good to get going early. So we're going to make that. You can see here we're on round 6. We'll see if we survive that first wave. I hope we do. But we've got our... You can see they're loading stone. They're loading wood, so that's good. All right. So that's all good. And now what we need to do is upgrade this guy. So we got to get 50. We definitely want to upgrade the barracks so we can get some crossbowmen. I really like the crossbowmen in this game, but you can see we need these require level 2. These require level 3. I use actually most of the units in here, especially the healers and the crossbowmen, and the spearmen. Not as concerned about the other ones. But those are the 3 big ones I like to use out of the barracks. But obviously we need to upgrade this, and we need 50 stone, which we got. Now it lets us upgrade it. Let's go ahead and upgrade that because we're quarrying stone now. We got wood going. That's good. Everything's coming in. And we can start adding to our army a little bit. Now, one thing very early on, easy to forget, and it's actually cost me the game. One thing you want to build early on, just so you don't forget about it, are these things. This is the obelisk. Obviously, you'd like to get to this is the one. You can only build one of these. But, so if I have a simple obelisk, I can't build the greater obelisk, which gives me the meteor shower. You can see right there. The simple one only gives you the astral ray. Early on, the astral ray, I couldn't pronounce that, will suffice for what you need. Later on, though, you'll have to destroy this in order to make the final one. So it's not like you can't build it. You just can't have multiple of these. A game would probably be way too powerful. This one you can just kind of put, I usually just put it right next to my barracks or somewhere real close. You don't actually have to click on this building once it's done, but I do want to show you how it works. So let's build that. I do not want to forget it. It's something that you want to do before your first wave. Let's just say that. Then we can start to use our spells, which I'll show you down here. Definitely, it's not something that you really want to forget a lot of. Okay. So once you, all right, so we've got some stuff going. Actually, you know what? This is a great layout because we've got walls here. See, natural barriers, using natural barriers is really good. And we've got some natural barriers here. So let's let's actually get this. Let's get this really going now. Let's go back. Whoops. Let's actually upgrade another house. I want some more. Oh, but you know what? The food's getting low. Okay, we got a food problem, but we do have. We're not going to have a food problem. You can see now that the food is going, and these guys are bringing in lots of food. So food's not going to be a problem right now. What I want to do is get some iron going, and I want to get another collection point going. So what we're going to do, we're running a little low on workers, but let's get some iron going because we need iron to make. What am I doing here? We need iron to actually make crossbowmen. So let's go here, and we've got our first iron mine. Let's put it right here. Good. And let's actually do another collection point because we're going to need these. You do actually need these. Just going to put it right there. So we got 2 collection points. One thing you want to think about, this is really nice because everything's sort of centrally here, but sometimes these things are isolated. I guess the point I would make is the reason I'm making these collection points is this stone mine, it's a lot shorter distance to come here than it is to walk all the way over here. So think about that too in terms of your economy. You want your storage, if you create mines, you want storage depots much closer because it just saves time. They can go over there and put them right down. You get instant access. Same concept, by the way, for the granary. You want this close to your fields. You don't want it over here because then they got to walk all the way over here. You get where I'm going with that. Okay. But we have a worker problem. So let's upgrade this house so that we can get some more workers so we can get another stone mine going here. We've got this going. This is all good. Moving pretty good. I think we're going to survive the first wave. There's going to be a lot of them, but I didn't forget to do this. So now you can see here, we'll talk about this when the first wave comes, and it will come faster than it looks. Now let's check and see if there's anything. It's easy to forget, by the way, the research, but let's not forget the research. And the first thing, like I said, I want to get is sharpshooter. So we're going to research that one. That's a biggie. That's a really biggie. And while we're talking about research, let's go back in there and like the stables I don't really use, but you cannot use these until you unlock them. I guess that makes sense, right? It's kind of an interesting way they did it. So it's not like a really linear upgrade to upgrade to upgrade thing. It's more of a you got the building and now you get the upgrade. Okay? So that's the one thing that is. So we're going to do sharpshooter and then maybe try and get maybe some more of these from the barracks too. Let's see. The university is big because you get the ultimate alchemy. We'll talk a little bit about that later. I'm actually going to show you a game that I've actually been playing, and we'll go there and I'll show you some of how other things work too. All right, so we've got that. One thing that is important to note, you will remember that I said you do not have gold mines. So you either got to find them in these carts. Good luck with that. You'll see them here. But really what you have to do is trade for them. And that is where it's a big item. And I'll show it to you. I believe it's under somewhere. Where is it? By the way, this little flag is where you can build those saranga. And you will want to do that. I usually build this final one. It gives you access to all of them. That's usually further into the game, and that will replace these guys right here. You will lose them. Eventually, the game's going to get so difficult. These waves are going to get so hard. Because I'm sending, like I said, I'm increasing the by 500 each one. So the waves will get increasingly difficult. You will probably lose big portions of your army. So be prepared to have the resources to replace them. Now, so we just got the new house, and that's that. Now, one thing I will say, don't neglect these city fountains. Take a look at what that just said. +1 for each home within its range. So it's always good to build. You can see here where the area they'll cover. It's always good. The standard thing most people do is they build the fountain and then they build just a bunch of houses around them. And that's a pretty good strategy. So we'll just put it right there. But that will give us an extra person for each house. That's kind of important. And we do need to kind of keep the houses going. The food situation looks pretty good. It's not great.
But we can add some more berry pickers. We could do that. And I think we will do that. So let's do that. Let's add another berry picker too. You can add lots of berry pickers. If you see, my rule of thumb is you see berries, well, we need some more berry pickers. Simple rule, isn't it? So let's add some more of those. If you see them, you're not harvesting them quick enough. All right. So good. All right. Everything's good, and we've got now. Look at that. We've got the ability. We've got iron coming in over here. And you can see the iron. We've got stone, we got wood. So now we can start adding to our army a little bit. Let's get the size of this increased. And I would like to add several crossbow, but we definitely need now to work a little bit more. In fact, I think what I'm going to do here is wipe these guys out. I'm a little concerned about these guys. I want to create a little bit more room here. So I don't want people and then we might come over here and harass these guys too, but we'll see. I'm worried about them picking off our berry pickers. I guess that's one, because they can sometimes go over here. You might go over here or something, and next thing you know, we've got problems. So, but we do need some more houses. So let's.
Our units are in combat.
Okay, so our units are in combat. Let's add another house. We can add the second level house right away. Let's do that. And meanwhile, we're gonna get rid of these guys. And, in between waves, that's kind of how I do it. In between waves, you want to think of that. In between waves, you can sort of send your army out. Sometimes I don't send my entire army out. I'll send half of it out. But, we picked up some food there. That was good. Let's go over here and pick up these crystals. And we're also going to... we'll just keep them on the move. And meanwhile, it's good. You're protecting your territory. And you're sort of, we should just use the highlight thing here. We'll just stop here, sort of get rid of this whole issue. In fact, we might just do a patrol. And that's easy, a faster way. We'll just patrol this. And that way you don't have to, manage them. They'll just kind of attack them, and we'll keep an eye on what's going on over here. All right, so this is good. Our food situation is good. Let's build one more house. Let's put it right there, and we're going to build a tavern too, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Taverns are very important. It was easy. Actually, I overlooked that in the beginning. It's easy to sort of overlook those, but you shouldn't. Let's actually pick up the crystal here. And let's go get that free stone. Let's highlight the army, and let's bring the army back over here. One problem with these guys, in fact, I should probably just leave these guys back here. Because they start, you got to be careful, because then the next thing you know, you have to be real careful, because they can start fights at a big range. The next thing you know, you're in a huge battle, which I don't want to be. Okay, good. Let's now go up here. Fight these guys. Or let's get the stone. So we'll send these guys up here. And how are we doing? These guys are coming in around. I hope we're going to be okay, but we probably should be. Still processing wood. That's good. We're make sure these materials are coming in. One thing I did want to show you again, I was trying to show it to you earlier, is let's keep an eye though. Is there anything we can do? Sturdy concrete's pretty good. That's not bad. What does that take? Yeah, let's do the sturdy concrete. I do like that. And you'll figure out which ones you like. Definitely eventually I try to get all of them, but you want to prioritize what you like. Let's go ahead and just get rid of these real quick. So we're really starting to get some areas. Okay, so we got that. Let's get rid of these. Let's pick up the crystal. We got a lot of crystals. And that's good early on. Eventually you can actually manufacture the crystals, and I'll show you that later on. So we've got this. pick up some extra resources here. Let's go blow away these camps. I want to blow away this whole area here. Much as possible. Probably should have picked up those resources too, but that's fine.
Our troops are under attack.
Good. Okay. And I'm not. You should know that you're probably not going to be able to make walls on the first 15 rounds. But and that's the other thing. You're going to plan. You're going to get so good at this game that you're going to kind of know what you need to do. Where, like, I usually don't start building my walls until I have other critical infrastructure pieces up first. Now, eventually, you're going to need walls. You're going to need them like there's no tomorrow. But early on, 1,000, we can deal with that. We have enough crystals. We have enough, probably not going to be a huge deal. But later on, you'll kind of know. I mean, once you start getting like around 30, 40, you want to have some sort of wall system up. But early on, you can kind of get away with it. Definitely later on, you'll definitely need them, like I said, and I'll show you that because I have a game I'm actually playing that's getting kind of difficult. So, because like I said, every 15 rounds I increase the difficulty, and you'll find it starts getting. You'll see. I'm actually going to go through a real fight. All right, so we've got the army here. Let's select the army down here. Let's get them situated right here. That's good. And let's, all right, so we got 23 available workers. You can also add these as military, supply units, whatever you want to do. But we've got a good supply. I think what we're going to do now is it's easy to forget about this, but let's not forget about it. Actually, you know what? We are going to send the army. Every time I want to do something, they're just here. So we are going to do this. We're going to send, boom, just like that. And what we're going to do now is get another. It's really key to get the, to try and get the forestry going. And so I built another lumberjack there. And what do I like to build with another lumberjack? Another storage area. There we go. That just costs a lot of wood, but we're going to gain a whole lot. We're going to clear this whole area out, which will be nice. And these guys, meanwhile, are going to make sure that this guy does not get harassed. We are going to just clear this whole thing out.
Our troops are under attack.
Yes, I know they're under attack. All right, we only got 5 more rounds, so we got to start thinking about that too. We've got this. We're going to be able to use these now. If I highlight over this, you can see the astral ray takes up 5 soul crystals. So just keep that in mind. That can be important when you're planning things out. Don't hesitate to use them. If one thing, don't be. Well, you do have to kind of think about how you use them for but once you start manufacturing those, it gets a little bit easier, not a lot. But you'll find that you sort of have to realize when to use them and when not. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You don't want to just use them willy-nilly. I don't want these guys destroying that wood. So let's send them back up here. See, this is not what I wanted to do right now. I didn't want to get in. You gotta watch these catapults. They always. I guess these guys kind of did need to go. So let's do a patrol. We'll just send them on patrol. They'll go through and wipe this whole clearing out. We got a lot of space now, so that's good.
Our troops are under attack.
You can see these guys can take a lot of abuse, so that's good. Against these units, they'll just hack them up pretty good. All right, now let's let those guys go. Now what I want to do is get back up here. Let's pause the game now. I need to pause this. And let's go back. And I want to see what I wanted to build. Here's the walls. Talk about more about that. What I wanted to do was get a market. There we go. We can't do a market yet, though, which is unfortunate. But we'll get there in a bit. Market, like I said, is very important. Trading materials, believe it or not, you'll do a lot more of it. When I first saw it, I said, nah, but there'll be times when you're low on a resource like iron, especially iron and gold. Those are the ones I trade for the most. I usually don't trade for wood and stone because you can get pretty much an endless supply of that. And I'll talk about that too. All right, so they cleared out. Got our wave coming out. All right, let's re-highlight our army. Get them situated. And let's start to add on to our army. Don't want to forget that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to add in 5 crossbowmen and 5 healers to begin. Want to be able to heal too. Healers are very important. So we're going to increase the size of our army for the wave that's coming in. We've got these guys going good. Let's just see the army. So after that, we only have about 9. Let's add a couple spearmen too. And a couple. The nice thing about archers, they don't take them an iron, and that's really the big difference. It's a huge difference. Crossbowmen are tougher, but if you're low on iron, you can always add some extra units. Okay, so there we go. They're actually, you can see here, they're building them out. You can see the progress. Let's just let that continue. So that'll be the army we'll use for the first wave. I do actually want to build yes. So it's important to get this out as early as you can, because it's easy to forget about it, but you will need it eventually. Is the market, like I said, and I want to show you how that works. So let's put the market. This is kind of dead space here. Let's put the market there. Okay. That might not have been the best spot. I'd probably be planning this out a lot better. And again, spacing is critical. So you can kind of see here, we're going to probably go here with our first community, kind of like this, with the housing. So, and in fact, that's fine. What you don't want to do is cut off. Like, you want to be able, make sure, never like, with the houses, okay, but when you put down units, never block off a pathway, because you're hurting the economy. You want to be able people to be able to get through here. So you wouldn't want to build this like right up against this. Now, if you do a few berry stands, that's okay. We're not really blocking anything, but you wouldn't want to put that right up against that edge, because there's an iron here and there's a stone. You can build a stone mine, all of that. While we're talking about it, while we're waiting here, this right here, you might have seen this. I didn't even notice this before. Something called stone ore fields. This is actually a permanent mine that you can get later in the game. How do you get this? You unlock it right here. Eternal stone source. There's also eternal iron. That is how you get that. And I'll show you that in my actual game that I've got going. But just keep in mind, that's why this is colored. Sometimes I usually get 1. If you're lucky, you'll get 2. I don't usually get 2 though. So you can see here all these. So these types of mines that you see here, if they say, if you highlight over this, it says deposit. These are not permanent. They are not infinite. They will run out. But you can see by that little discolored thing there, that is it actually, you only need 1. Really, you only need 1 of them, and you're in business. I'd like to get the iron. I rarely see that. Rarely see the iron. But there you can see right there we've got, if we go around here and look at the whole map, you'll probably see another one. Unfortunately, they're out of range, though. Well, no, there's not many of them. Well, no, there's one right there. There's another one, but that's obviously out of our range of our empire. All right, so let's continue on. All right, so we got 3 rounds, and let's see, how's our building coming here? So got to prepare for the first big battle. Let's bring these guys over here and link them up with our army. Now, when you get new troops, you might be asking, how do you add them into your grouping? It's actually pretty easy. Once you do that, let's see here. We'll highlight them all. You don't have to highlight. By the way, you don't have to ever worry about highlighting your workers, because you can't. They are on. They are basically autopilot, so you never really have to highlight. So once we've got it highlighted, you just come here and you right-click again to see how the number went up. That's how you add them in. You just right-click on it with the units selected, and boom, they're all part of this grouping now. And there you can see we've got a much larger army now. And we might actually create another house of food. Food is good, 76. I think we're going to add another house here. No, let's add a tavern. Taverns are important. What a tavern, you can see here, it's got a wide radius. I usually just build it right at the end of here. What a tavern does is it basically, your people will drink more, I guess it would be mead or something, and eat less food. So it basically saves your food. It's a very nice, good thing. And it has a wide range. You can see the range it has here. So it covers a lot of houses. So that's a necessity. Always build a tavern inside your housing community, at least one of them. It's always good to do. All right, so we're going to do that, and then let's build yet another home. Let's keep that home going. One more there, and why not one more? So we'll have those built out. We got 3 more rounds, so this is coming up, the first fight. But you can see here we're doing pretty good. Don't really need anything at this point. We'll talk about trading in the next video because I've got more resources and stuff. But one thing you definitely want to get when you can afford the gold, and I stress that because it does cost a bit. You can see here now look at that. We got the market. Now I can go ahead and get things. But the one thing that's really good, take a look at that. Market regulations. Actually, you know what? We're going to do that anyways. And what this does is read that. You get to exchange your resources profitably. Yes, you're actually getting a much better exchange rate. That is huge. I forgot. That's cheaper than I thought. But I usually get that right away. And it's easy to forget, but you will actually get, in fact, you start making a big profit on some of the items like wood. If you trade stone for wood and stuff like that, you get a much better exchange rate. So always make sure you get that perk. It's a good one. All right. So we got these houses going. Let's see what priority it is. It's 2. This one is 3. Why is it not a 1? Because we were building something else. What were we building? Oh, we were building a tavern. So you can see how the priority system works. Now, if we go over here, this is the 1. So they'll come here. And this is 2. So you can see how that priority system works. It's kind of important later on, especially. Let's take a look and see how we're doing here. When these things fill up, they'll let you know. They haven't filled up. You either have to upgrade them or add another stand. You can always destroy stands too, by the way, when you don't need them anymore. If you don't, you can always destroy things. Just keep that in mind and rebuild. So we're doing this. I want to get the army up a little. I want a few more crossbowmen. I guess that's where I'm going with this. The supply situation is really good. You know what we might add is another berry picker. Might add another berry. Now, where are the berry bushes? They're mainly here. So let's do this. Let's add. It's easy to forget about these, but they start to add up. They start to do a lot of food. Let's put him right on the side here. Actually, you know what? Let's put him right there. That's sort of dead space. Good place to put you. Try to use dead space if you can. It's a good thing to use. They're going to come out here, build, and then build this, and then some guys will start coming here. In fact, I think what we're going to do, because we're going to have a lot of berry pickers here and a lot of food over here. We'll just plan ahead. Let's do another granary. Let's put a granary right there. This dead space is good. Yes. Put the granary right there. And then these berry pickers will have, yes, they'll have a good place to go. Okay, so things are trucking along. We've got 2 more rounds. You can see here on the map, we're still at high, since we don't have the fog of war on, we're surrounded by a lot of enemies, but I do want to prepare a little bit more. Want a few more crossbowmen. So we've got 9 workers, so let's add a good size of these, because we've got to prepare for what is coming.
Yeah.
So let's just get more of those guys, and they'll build them out. You can see those will be done. We only got a couple more rounds till this comes, and then we've got 2 more workers. Let's add a couple more berry stands. But where to add them?
Yeah.
Think what we can.
Complete.
You know what? Let's add them over here.
Yeah.
So we got some more. They're gonna have to walk away, and I may just build a granary. But let's.
Yeah.
Do we still have? Yeah. You know what? I think this is better over here. This is sort of dead space, so let's add them here. Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure. Yeah, they're not going to go too close. We got to eliminate that anyways. I just want to make sure. You can see how I'm thinking about this, like their radius, where they're going. Keep an eye on that because you don't want them to get close to the enemy. So that's good. All right, that'll produce more food, though. That's good. And are we done? Yes. Let's add these guys to our army, which is getting larger. And we're almost ready for battle. That's good. Again, we're not so concerned about walls at this point. It would be nice to have a few, but you have to sort of think about walls are great, but if you don't have an army defending them, a workable army, It's not really good. All right, let's add these guys in. Remember, right click. There we go. Everything's all set. So now, one of the things, this is coming in 2 rounds. I'll show you. It'll highlight it where it's coming. Now, in the meantime, our army's set. It's where we want it. What else can we do? We've added more food, more berry collecting. I say we go ahead and keep up with the theme of housing. Let's add some more housing. Let's add 2 houses. That's good. Resources all good. This is actually a good start. Okay. I might actually play this game. Who knows? Probably will. All right. So I do like this map actually, and these are randomly. This is a great map with that. I wish that, and somebody knows this. I don't know how to get the seeds. If somebody does know how to actually, I don't see anywhere, like you can see here, if I click on this, it doesn't really tell me, I wish I hope that's an enhancement someday. They allow you to pick a seed. This is really long. I love this arrangement here. This would be easily defensible. Better than the one I'm going to show you in a minute with a fully built out base layout. Now, I'm glad you can see this. So you can see here, this little icon says I've reached my limit now. And until I upgrade this, and I can't actually upgrade it to 3. So one thing you could do is add another stand here, or he's going to have to walk to somewhere else he can store those supplies. In this case, I think what we're going to do is just build another stand. So I don't want him having to, in fact, we're going to reuse this for these mines anyway. So you want to think ahead, like, okay, we're going to use this anyways, probably when we get all these mines going. So just think of it that way. All right, so we're going to build those out. And we're on, what are we on now? Let's get rid of this info. We're on 14. Okay, so let's hit pause. And here's where the wave is coming. So you just sort of angle around. They're coming this way. Okay. So what we want to do is, now here's where this can get a little tricky. Sort of like coming right here. So he's going to probably come down here, but there could be some units that come over here. Got to prepare for that. I think it's probably going to come here, but let's get our army situated so that we're right here. Actually, let's put our army right there. No, yes. Let's hit play now. Let's actually stick the main army is going to be right here. Okay, but I am concerned there could be some units over here. This is why it's good to leave a few extra workers. We're going to go all out on our army now, so we're going to produce some spearmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spearmen, and we're going to produce some backup crossbowmen, and maybe even a healer if we get some more. No, I think we're maxed out. Okay, so they're coming. And so that's what you always have to worry about, at least on the now when you have multiple waves, that you'll have to have a couple armies, but you can see that they could make a detour. That's what I'm always worried about. They could come this way. So you got to be prepared for that. In fact, I probably should, you know what? I should have cleared these out earlier, but that would be nice because I might have to fight more than I want to. Okay, so there is a countdown here. You can see it. It's counting down. Let's...
Yeah.
Did we build that stand? We did. Let's see if we can quickly, and I say quickly, build another house and get another worker, though I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So it's 40 seconds. These guys done? Yes. All right, so let's get these guys over here just a little, just in case. We're going to keep them right there. And we're going to group these guys into the second army. So these are 9 guys, so they got their own. So I can just move these around as, you know what we might do? Tempted to pull 4 guys. No, let's just keep that as it is. We'll see what happens here. We may have to redeploy. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to take that risk. We're going to take a few of these guys and put them over here. And these are the sort of decisions you have to make. Okay, so here they come. All right, so I'm going to show you how to use the astral ray. I probably wouldn't use it this early, but one thing you can do, and this is kind of useful, is think of it like, hey, we can also take out these camps with this once these guys are over this. So I'll show you how important this is. It's especially important early on if you want to survive it. You can see we got a ton coming here. Here they come, all with their beards. So we're going to hit them. The question is, if they're not splitting, then let's get this other army over here real quick. Okay, so here's how you do it. So you select this, and until you activate it, nothing happens. And we're going to activate it right now. You want to do it real quickly because you don't have a lot of time. And they are splitting. Oh my gosh, they're really splitting. Okay, redeploy over here because they're all going over here. So that was a problem. We're redeploying. Oh boy, those guys are going to probably get killed. But one thing we are going to do. Okay. Okay, so we're going to hit this here. This is something that's not atypical, by the way. We're having to use a lot more crystals than I want, but... Oh my gosh, okay. This is where I wish I had Meteor. Okay.
The city is under attack.
Okay, we're gonna have to really use the crystals right here. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? This is actually going really bad. And sometimes this happens. Oh my gosh, we're gonna lose this. You can see how I'm gonna really need these. Great tutorial. That was absolutely the worst split. Usually you don't get splits this early. Yeah, this... Okay. I did not survive. Yeah, I lost. And it can happen. There's not a lot I can do at this point. We're out of crystals. That was a horrible split, and that really screwed... You know what? I should have... The mistake there, and you live and learn, is... sometimes when they split like that, it doesn't usually happen actually. For me, something that dramatic where you have usually in the first wave they're coming one single direction, but the way they split really divided my forces, and that was not what I wanted there. But I lost. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. You get a sense how to use this game. All right, so now I'm going to take you to a game I'm actually playing, and we did get defeated. Yes, I get that. Interesting. Yeah. So in retrospect, you know what? I think I needed more actual troops there. And again, maybe if this if you're finding that maybe I should have gone to 20, and maybe that's what you need to do. So again, it can happen, and maybe if if this was my first time playing, I might say, okay, I need to go to 20 now, so I could have got some walls up or something. But anyways, you can see that's that. Now let's actually go to a game that I'm actually playing right now, and let's go there. And you'll see kind of how I have my defenses built up, and I'll show you. So you'll see everything. We'll talk a lot more about this. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is, you can see here I've survived quite a bit longer. I'm on 233. Now the wave coming in, so I'm doing I forget, is it 15 waves or something? Yeah. So this one's going to be huge, though. Much more difficult than that one that I just died. So, 50%, 6,000 troops coming in. I will say this. We have one coming in here in a little bit. So let's pause the game and no, that's not what I want to do. We're going to talk a little bit about some more stuff. So one thing, like I talked about, were those eternal. I've got here. I've almost all my mines are gone, and when they're gone, they kind of have this look, right? There's nothing there. But this one, like I said, was the eternal. It was those fields, the stone fields. So in order to do that, you have to set up a stoneworks, which you get right in your mining. Where is it? I'll show it to you. It's somewhere. Right here. Here's the stoneworks. These are the permanent ones. Here's the ironworks. Now, if you have a stoneworks, it's not quite as free as they make it sound. If you do a stoneworks, you also want to have a workshop. I'm sorry, a forester's cabin. And you need that because the forester will lay down trees. Yes, he'll plant trees, and then obviously you want a lumber mill right by it. So this is great. We've got guys putting down trees. We've got guys cutting them down. So it's like an endless cycle of trees. So you get wood. That wood is being partially used to create my stone. So it's a one-to-one. So it's not exactly as free as they make it look to be. So keep in mind, if you have the stoneworks or the ironworks, you will need something to supply it with, and that is a field. And this, I kind of set this up in this area. This was kind of a good area. You can see here the massive amount of defenses that I've got. Now, the ultimate defensive weapon in this game is the trebuchet. The trebuchet is made in the Engineers Guild. 2, you need the second level. So you need to get that upgraded. There it is. It takes gold. Now, how do we get gold? Well, we get it through, again, the market. You open up the market, and you can trade what you have. Now, this was something I was sort of missing when I first started playing this game. You can actually trade food. I have a huge surplus of food going. I'm producing so much food that's a good thing to do, too. Also, you might want to trade the resource that you're making the most of. In this case, it would be stone. I got a lot of stone. So you select stone on your side, and then you select what you want. In this case, we want gold. So I just move this arrow up, and it shows here. From 400 gold that I'm giving, they're going to give me 25 gold. Now, you can repeat last order. This is very dangerous. I don't tend to do this because it's easy to forget once you start rolling around and doing other things. It's kind of easy to forget. You don't want to forget that. So I rarely have that on unless I have a real good reason to do that. But most of the time I would not do that. So you hit trade, and there, once we hit the pause button, these hydroplane thingy, whatever it is, will take off and go to the city, and your gold will go up on the return. Now you can see here we lost that stone, but once it comes back, we'll get our gold bonus. Now you can see here, spacing-wise, I kind of took these... I used the natural defenses here, and built my walls here. Now, the thing that's really important, when you get later in the game, you can get away with a single wall system, but eventually, as you can see here, you're going to want to build up multiple walls because they will destroy these, and a lot of times they might just get right through it. That's how tough these waves are getting now. They're not easy. Let's just say that. And here's my army. So you can see here, I selected my main army right here. I've also got the trebuchets, I would call these guys my deployable trebuchets, because I want to also, in addition to the ones I got situated in my walls, I want a bunch of trebuchets that I can move as well. They are the ultimate damage and defensive weapon, for sure. So I got a bunch of those. I've also got a reserve army right in the middle here, just in case, and I use it all the time anyways, just in case I need them. So there's a reserve army, and I've even got some healers selected, just to if I need to move them up to heal my main guys. Good chance that we're going to lose a lot of this army. So that's what I've got. Now, one thing what we talked about was, made a little mistake here, and this is where you got to watch out for. So if you notice here, here's the radius we talked about earlier. It extends all the way out here. You see the problem between this area and this one? Here I can add all walls all the way out to here. Here, can't add walls anymore. That was a huge mistake on my part. Huge mistake. This is a very vulnerable area. I think I made the same mistake. Now over here, I'm very in great shape. Now part of this was because of the contours, you know, just the way these were. I mean, but here I don't have a lot of room either. So big, it's kind of a scary area here. So let's go ahead and is there anything else I want to talk about? So you can see here I've got my housing communities, granaries, the farms going. I'm producing a lot of food, berry pickers. Oh, here is here I've got the Saranga barracks right next to the normal barracks, so I can replace the Saranga. The main ones I like are the Scorpio right here. These usually I put with the army. They're not as good as a trebuchet, but they're more mobile and they're cheaper, a little bit cheaper to produce, so they're good to sort of put with out in the field, I guess. Also keep in mind towers. These can almost act as walls in themselves. So you got this triple wall plus you have these here too kind of blocking things as well. And then try to put as many, I've actually kind of done a poor job of this game, but you try to put as many crossbowmen on your walls as well. It helps. Okay, so, and one more thing. So we talked about kind of having the continuous supply of stone, and now I've this forest was not here originally. These guys right here, the forester cabin, which you can get to. Where is it? The workshop. Yeah, right here. Yeah, no, that's not the. Is that the word? I'm trying to remember. There it is, forester's cabin. Yeah, sometimes you got to dig around and find these. So you put the forester cabins down, and then you put the lumberjacks. Now, this is kind of what I like, the 3 and 2. So you've got enough guys planting trees. You've got some guys cutting them down. There's always trees to cut down. The way you want to kind of get this is so that you are producing more. I guess the way I would put this, you want to make sure that you're producing stone, and that's good because they need fuel to keep this thing going. But you also want to make sure that your wood supply is going up. So what's nice about this is both of these are going up. Now I have to trade for iron. I did not get a continuous iron. So the two things I'm using is not only construction materials, but also to keep the supply of gold and the supply of wood going as well. Now, another big one that can be built off the grid, it's the only one that I know of, is this very important thing, the alchemical transgressor. You'll see these little weird things emanating in the ground. Actually, I didn't know what these were for the longest time. Like, what is this? But this is where you build the alchemical transgressor. What does it do? It takes iron, it does need iron, sorry, and converts it to soul crystals. Think about how important that is. You saw how important those were. And now I've got Meteor Strike, which is way more powerful. I wish I had that in the last one, but I didn't. As you can see here, it says right here if you highlight over it. Now, one thing you want to sometimes do, you can't hit the pause button. If you're getting low on iron, you want to hit the pause button. Same thing, but ideally you shouldn't have to. You may have to hit the pause button here. Just keep in mind you can pause these things if you're running low on wood or something. You can't pause them. Ideally, though, you get these in a symbiotic relationship and you're in good shape. You never have to put the pause button. And if you're producing enough, you can simply always trade. That's what I do. I always trade for enough iron so that this thing keeps going continuously, because it will. You can see here now I'm up to 155, and I'll need them. Trust me, you will need them. So again, this is the only one that you can build outside this, outside your facility, outside the range. You can only build one of them. You can't build two. I wish you could. The game would probably be pretty too easy, but you only get one of them. That's it, and it will sit there and keep creating soul crystals, which are so important. And I think, I think that's pretty much it. So we've talked a lot about defenses, this triple wall system. I'd even like to get some of these quadruple, as many as more as you can, because I've got an endless. Now it's just a question of time, because I've got only 15 rounds. So I want to try and build things. In fact, they're coming here in 2 rounds. We're going to do a fight, big fight. All right, so let's go ahead and let this rip. Oh, so if I did want to show you. Here is where you unlock ultimate alchemy. That's where I got that building to make the eternal soul crystals. Right here under. That's why you need a university to get a lot of these nice things. You also get the ability to it's a passive. It'll dump oil on them, so that's important too. Just makes your walls more powerful. Okay, so you can see our balloon thingy's taken off. We've got 2 rounds. So now we're kind of in a waiting game, and I'm hoping to see where they come from. You don't know. So I'm keeping my armies kind of ready to go. I can hit these numbers and deploy them. Deployment is huge. You only have a limited amount of time. So we're kind of sitting here waiting. I don't even know if I'm going to survive this. The last one I was over here, I think, and there was massive damage. They got in here and caused a lot. I had to fix all this up. And eventually, with next at round 50, I that's what I do. I'll add 500 more, and I even bump up the difficulty. It starts getting worse and worse. Let's just say that it starts getting worse and worse. And that's the other thing you can do if you find. Let's hit the pause button. They're coming, and they're coming the way I didn't want them to come. That's no good. There's going to be a lot of damage here. This is actually my weakest section here. You see, this is much stronger over here. This is probably my strongest section. This is actually a weak area because I just can't expand out here. You saw. I mean, you could see it. So that's actually my weakest area. But let's try to do what we can do. Is there anything? I'm thinking about this. We've got 30 warriors. Do I have time? Let me see. I want to see if I can build. So I can go out 4. This is the things you want to think about. I can block this off. Because they're going to be coming this way. Let's see. Which way are they coming? They're going to be coming this way. There's going to be a ton of them. They're going to probably, you know what? They're probably going to come over here too. Okay. So let's already... We're going to split this. You can see how pausing this is so important. Let's put those guys right there. And then let's take these guys. Actually, you know what? Let's just take these guys. We're going to put them right here. Then we're going to take these guys and put them right here. And now let's highlight our main army. And we're going to put them right here. Good. Let's hit the play button now. Then what I want to do is put a... See if we can put in something right here to block this. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is try and get a few archers real quick to put them on top of that building supply. See, these are the things you got to think about. Let's get the reserve army ready to go way back here. Let's get them in place. So you can see positioning is huge. These guys are moving. We don't have a lot of time. This time we'll get down real quick. Like, I mean, it'll go real quick. I'm hoping to get a little bit more fortifications built up. This will probably get ripped down. So, I mean, this is going to be... What I'm worried about looking at this is they're going to come over here. I don't have a lot over here. More over here, but this is actually even weaker. But that's why we're moving some of these trebuchets over there. And that's why you like... These can make these really do make the difference. There's going to be 6,000 of these guys coming, so... It's be a big battle. We'll see if I survive it. Alright, so they're building this. Get these things built pretty quickly. I mean, it can make a, it's not going to make a lot of difference, but it's going to make a little bit of a difference. It's just something they have to attack. And that's the other thing I wanted to point out, that, if you... Let's just move them over here. We still have a little bit of time. Okay. Okay, that's done good. So that's just going to block the entrance completely. Let's see. Let's hit pause real quick. And let's see if we can get in. Let's this is what you'll be doing too. So you highlight this and you see we can add some more walls here. Let's do that. Let's add. We got the stone, so let's do that. Let's just add another round of. We're gonna make it as hard as possible. Okay. Maybe we can get another. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that all built out, but we'll get some of it built out. Okay. Let's keep the reserve army is already here, ready to go, just in case we need to. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to put the reserve army right there, right here. Okay, so they're going to go. We're running out of time here. In fact, I don't know if they're even going to make it, but we've got meteor shower. We've got some crystals, so that's good. Don't want to like use them all. Like like to get it down to about 75. I don't like to go below 75. But as these get more difficult, you find out you're using them more and more. So these guys are going. We are definitely running out of time here. Are they even building here? No, that's not good. These may look like huge armies, but when you see what's coming, you'll notice it's pretty minuscule. At least these guys are getting around. I wanted to make sure they get around. We only got 40 seconds left. Are they going to come start building some of this? Okay, so the trebuchets are getting... Let's get them better situated. Get them a little bit closer. Let's get these guys right up here so they get max range. Let's get this one over here. Good. Where are the workers? Oh, there they are. They're coming around. It's not gonna. It's gonna be too late. That's too bad. But nonetheless, we'll let them build what they can. At least we got these. Oh, and if you highlight these guys and just right-click on here, they'll all go up there. So that's good. I don't like the way this army is situated. We're going to put them right there. No.
Enemy forces are approaching.
There we go. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, this is what I feared. They're coming. They're going to dribble over here and here. This is going to be a big frickin' wave. Okay. You can see the trebuchets are already attacking them. Okay. So we're just going to keep our army right here. Then what I want to do
Our units are in combat.
is get these guys. I didn't want to use the reserve army, but we're going to have to use them because we have a split going on. Same thing that happened last time.
Our troops are under attack.
Okay, so we're going to let these guys start to go to town. Let's move some healers a little bit closer right here.
They are attacking the walls.
And... Alright, so it's time to start using meteor shower. Let's hit them right there.
Our fortifications are under attack.
And... one right there.
Our troops are under attack.
Okay. Oh my god, there's so many. Okay, now, I want to pause this for a second. Whoops.
Units are in combat.
I want to pause this. Very important point to make. You can see here we already went through quite a few crystals. Now, one thing, these guys right here are, you can see them, but if you didn't notice them, these guys do a ton of damage. These are their siege equipment. You can see them right here. These guys do a huge amount of damage. Very important to try to get rid of them with your crystals. If you don't, they'll probably just penetrate and go right through and wipe the city out. And now that I've got my reserve army here trying to help out, probably it would all be gone. So let's get rid of these guys, and we're going to use meteor shower.
Attacking the walls.
I do not want them hanging around. Let's just say that. So we,
Attacking again.
all right. All right, so
Our fortifications are under attack.
okay, so that's it. I don't want to use any more soul crystals,
Our fortifications are under attack.
but we are going to definitely take some hit here. Okay, so let's just keep an eye on what's going on. Actually, I think we're going to have to use another one. This is going...
Our fortifications are under attack.
You can see they already took out the... Yeah, we're going to have to survive this. We're going to have to... Okay. Here we're doing a little bit better. I'm not as worried about this. Both armies wiped out, but we can replace them.
Our troops are under attack.
Have they busted through here yet? Yeah, they're in there. But we are still... I think we're going to have to use one more.
They are attacking again.
Okay. And let's quickly, just in case... make a couple
Attacking the walls.
guys going just in case we need them. But there's a lot of damage being done here. There's going to be a huge repair. This is why you can see it's important to have these. This is what, let's use an astral ray. Now, astral rays are more specific. They take a little bit less, but you can kind of clear out the last guys with the astral ray. We took up way more soul crystals, but I should get up over 100. You know, if you keep mining them, which I still have. Main thing is check the iron. I got iron, and this thing will keep going for 15 more rounds, and we'll get close to being over 100 again. You definitely don't want to go into a fight, as you can see, without a bunch of soul crystals, but you can see there was quite a bit of damage here. Let's actually... let's send these forces here. Our armies were completely annihilated.
Whatever you say.
Let's just do a... you can see how much health they have. These guys have a lot of health. It's still going on. Guy is still going because they can't target him, but we got our other forces coming here, I think. Eventually. Okay. Survived it. Wow. Not too bad, but a lot of damage done up here. That's why, by the way, that's why it is good to have as many of your crossbowmen on the back wall as possible. And not, you can see all these guys died. Remember that whole thing I built up here? It's all gone. Now your guys will start to come out and repair stuff that's left. They'll automatically come out. They will get, now here's the thing, when you have dead bodies, these will eventually turn into zombies, or you can build a graveyard to collect them. So, but I usually just let them build a graveyard, but they will infect your workers and stuff, and people that are going out here. I think the army, those armies are completely gone. So we've got to make a completely new army, which you can get done in 15 rounds. I can usually get that done. But what you want to do, all the trebuchets survived. I had 14. There's actually one lone survivor here. Oh, this guy. Okay. One, that's the only survivor left, but he survived. Okay, so usually what I do is I bring the armies and reform them up over here. And now what I did want to say is these bodies will become diseased, and you can see here they're starting to repair the walls that they can repair. But you definitely want to try to repair them. Normally speaking, they do not come in the same direction they did, so you have at least 30 rounds to get this done. But you can see here with that automatic option on, they're coming here. Now you can see this guy's sick. He's sick. So how do you make him unsick? Well, one way to do it, you can see this guy's sick too when they got that. One of the ways to do it is just to build a hospital. Where is the hospital? So here's the hospital. Let's build a hospital. We'll see what happens. Or you can go around and collect all these guys and put them in a graveyard. The hard part about it is you usually have to do it out here, well, we can't even do it out here because we don't have enough room. Actually, we could do it here, but the problem is once the grave's destroyed, if it gets destroyed, I'm sorry, speaking too fast. If the graveyard gets destroyed, you will have a you will have a problem on your hands because they'll all become zombies anyways. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, eventually these guys will become zombies and you'll kill them anyways. But meanwhile, to prevent disease, in fact, let's see how we just switched the priority. That's because they were fixing all these walls. I want to get this medical facility built as quickly as possible to try to get these guys healed up. Not so worried about getting this all, getting this fixed yet. I want to get my medical facility fixed so everybody, in fact, I think I have one over here somewhere. Yes. And the good thing about the medical facility is it will cure them of the disease so your people don't get diseased. It's kind of important. You need to have some of them around, especially where you have your communities or your workers. Let's see what this covers. I don't know. See, it's not covering. It's only covering this surrounding area. So you need to have one. I probably should have had this up earlier, but it's just one of those things I forget. As soon as I get this built, you should see this go away. And the main thing is you can replace your units pretty easily, but what you can't replace is the trebuchets. Those get hard. That's why it's important to get them garrisoned up here. And yeah, I mean, that's how you want to do it. But we didn't lose any of the trebuchets. The walls took a severe battering. But what you don't want is for them to bust through here. And they almost did. Oh, and I forgot to show you one thing which was really stupid. I'm sitting here talking, and that actually was why they kind of got through here, and I forgot about that. I'll show you that in a minute. So you can see here, now all the disease things are gone, and they're fixed up. So just make sure you got a hospital kind of covering most of your base if you can. It's one of those things, it's a nice have, but if they get diseased, you definitely have to build it. Oh, so here's the thing I did not do, is close the gates. Yeah, you can close them all and open them all. I should have closed it. That was a big thing to forget. And that prevents them from entering. Actually could have just cost me big time. I'm lucky they started to actually come through there and could have gotten past here and just done a lot of damage. So yeah, so you can see I survived it. It was pretty close. So then now what I would do is come here and we come back to add it. The good news is it has up what you had, and we'll just make this round 250. And we'll increase this. Actually, we'll increase this to 7,000. I think I've been doing 250 here. Whoa, not 25. So we'll make it 7,000. So it's going to get more difficult. Whoa. I mean, that doesn't matter. I generally stop at 50%. I usually make this 100%. But you can do what you want if you get really good, So, and just remember, you'll be real sad if you do this on the current round. So we made it 250. Apply. Now I wish, like I said, they had a thing of automatic. I'd liked if they had that. I didn't know you could unleash this. That's something I just learned. You can actually unleash it. Boy, that'd be a dangerous thing to hit. So there you go. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I really need to cover. I've covered a lot. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.